The mess.
Yeah, it's actually quite peculiar when you think about a guy like him, XMS. I mean, he did retire not too long ago, and now he's back at the playing field. And we do see Virtus.pro with a very fast push here on the bomb site here, and LDLC, they're having a difficult time stopping this one, but XMS, he finds the necessary headshots, and the push is stopped in its tracks. The bomb is there on the bomb site, Snacks. It looks like you're going to have to recover it, Mr. Cat, and no, he's not going to be able to do it. That is going to be LDLC's first pistol round victory. XMX here. Great shots coming in from him. He finds the 2 headshots there impressively enough, but he also has his teammates backing him up from upper, thus making the push there from for Virtus.pro a very difficult process. It doesn't look like too much going to change here for Virtus.pro. The way things are going right now, with them only having the Glocks, it kind of looks like they might have been interested in going for a ballsy play on the upper bomb side, as we saw earlier. But they seem to be slowing down just a little bit, maybe, you know, hoping to keep that clock running ever so longer so that the LDLC players are bound to use their utility here, which is quite a reasonable position to be taking. Talking about positions, Sixer here and outside finds the very first shot there on Bialy. It looks like Virtus.pro might just continue on with the push on radio, but look at the damage. Like, that's some great nade now being thrown out here by Major. It looks like he's definitely hearing a lot of these players' footsteps here right above him. And now Sixer looks like he's going to have to deal with these players. But there's Major helping him out in the backlines as he finds some of these eliminations. But there's also, alrighty then, that's going to be at least one of these kills working out for Virtus.pro. But all in all, that is still a clean round here for LDLC.
Now, what was interesting, I just almost sanity checking myself there, is that Major is rocking the French flag, but I also know that he's Turkish as well.
Yeah, that's interesting.
But I've just double checked on Wikipedia and he's got both flags listed, so I'm guessing there's a bit of a dual nationality or something along the lines going on there. An interesting point to note nonetheless. Actually, I just always thought he was Turkish. But yeah, rocking the French flag in full.
Yeah, and I'll tell you this, Flakes. The man's been playing for the majority of his career, if not all of it. You know, in 1.6, he was playing for the French teams, and I do believe he even played with Sixer in the past. And I do believe from around 2016, 2017 is when he made the transition to actually play with the Turkish teams like Space Soldiers. And obviously, with him joining the team, he actually elevated that team to a higher level of play. So let's see if he's going to be able to do it here with the Frenchman. As a Major now, he will be shut down here by Mihu. That's going to be a pretty good pickup here, especially if Virtus.pro do want to contest this lower bomb site.
Alright, I'm going to be there with the MP9, trying to see if he can let rip and find himself what will have to be a multi-kill hit. There's the first. Drops the bomb rather nicely. Can see if he can maybe upgrade his weaponry as Happy slinging in from behind. The one benefit he's got is the vent is broken, so he will be able to catch them by surprise. Rodder, meanwhile, will secure an additional kill, but Happy will almost be the instant trade frag. Rodder getting so much information, but it's all on his shoulders. We'll drop on down, and, well, that's just too much for him to achieve. Actually, we'll finish him off, and we do see the first on the board for Virtus.pro. Going back to Major for a second, you mentioned sort of the glory days of 1.6 and Source. I believe the bulk of that was with Millennium. I know he played for Millennium on both 1.6 and Source respectively as well. Very old school Source and 1.6 name, so yeah, definitely links into his French roots prior to his very long stint as Space Soldiers.
At a long stint it was. And I mean, with the Space Soldiers guys, definitely achieved a couple things. You know, some of the finishes and lands, they actually qualifying to the big lands, which wasn't too bad. But here, we do see the Virtus.pro roster, shall I say, Mihu, full outside control because of the one player here. But he didn't really check for Sixer now, did he? Virtus.pro, it looks like, with the position they have right now, are they actually going to try to commit to the bomb side push? It looks like it. Rodder actually jumps down there on the side, but as we do see, Mr. Cat, Veggie, will eliminate him, and now Sixer, he has recovered the AK-47, and I think if you're a Sixer and Meyer, it's not a bad idea to actually try to keep some of those weapons here. I don't think Major can actually find anything there through the smoke. He might just try to go for it, but I do believe this will just be a mere save. But hold on, Bialy is hungry. He's going to try to find some of these kills here, but he hasn't really checked for Major here, and Major can actually survive this one. Looks like, yes, he can. The 5-7 spray comes in, and I do believe, yes, this round, it is pretty much over here for the LDLC guys, or is it though? he's major. Still finds himself a couple more kills, making this more costly for the Virtus.pro roster. But overall, it is going to be 2-2.
He's just living for the exit frags, isn't he? Catching a couple there. Just a note for you folks at home, we are aware of the slight stutter on the stream currently. I believe some shenanigans are going on and the behind the scenes that I know the team are rampantly working to resolve. So do bear with us if things get a little bit choppy here. If things go all black for just a moment's notice, you will understand why. As I know the team are hard at work resolving that for you. So appreciate the patience from our viewers at home, as we will just continue to inform you of the action. Maybe in a bit of a radio cast commentary.
Yeah, you can always do that. There's always possibility in Twitch to pop that setting to actually listen only to the audio, which isn't a bad idea.
It's actually really useful if you're traveling. Like, pro tip right there. If you're on a flight, or less so on a flight because of signal, if you have got in-flight Wi-Fi, then it's still useful. But the audio-only option is a great way for like low data, like when you've got just passable signal to be able to listen to a stream. Watch some CS back, for example. That's how I actually watch most of the major while on a flight. So I can definitely recommend.
Some great tips coming in there from Flakes.
Life pro tips.
Life hacks.
Someone should make a series out of that. I'm pretty sure there is probably a series of some sort on YouTube. But nonetheless,
I mean,
these pistols can't really do too much here, right? I mean, we did see a couple of nice shots come through from VP, but overall it is just very sort of it's a bit of a mismatch of weaponry. Major does have the AK on his shoulders, but very little he can do with it. He's 4 HP after all, so the bomb will go down pretty much uncontested, and LDLC will just live to fight another day here. Maybe Happy and Sixer can find an exit or two, but not really a huge amount they will be able to do. Snatchy will fall, but I don't think that's a weapon that can be found. I'll say that. Sixer will actually be able to drop down. Can he sneak away with the AK? He might have just got away with it, and if Happy plays his cards right, this might be another kill for him as well.
He's in a pretty prime position. They're being stationed on the rafters, but he's been spotted out, and I'm not sure if the Virtus.pro guys even want to try to hunt him down, because that would actually cost them to climb up the ladder, and yeah, they're just going to play this one quite safe. Now I'll give you an interesting tidbit, Flakes. The highest fragged individual from the LDLC team, from the, I'm going to butcher his name, Charlie Esports event, is in fact Sixer, so that is something I had no idea of being the case, but it is what it is.
Sixer is actually pretty nuts at the game. He's just had a bit of an unfortunate time of things in terms of his recent rosters and really the positions he's had to play in various teams, but he's definitely got some talent, so he just needs to find the right lineup of people that can help him, activate upon that talent. It's quite simple, to be honest. He just needs to see sort of whether he can slot into this LDLC lineup and really be able to have the impact that he's looking for. We know he's a smart guy and we know he can frag. It's whether he can put pen to paper, so to speak.
And that's pretty much about it. I don't know about you, Flakes, but it looks like I've lost my connection, so you're probably going to have to take this one from me.
It also is the same for me. We're staring at quite a frozen screen here, and I'm trying to sort of just think what I can possibly bring up on the screen instead of this, but it looks like I just have like many black screens. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. We're going to have to try and figure this out. I think they're just like turning it off and on again is the classic sort of, there's a tech issue, how do we fix it? So I'm going to try something. If I fade this to black, this is live production right here, folks. And then I go over here, bring this open. Is this open? I think it's just actually completely crashed. Not a good sign. Okay, I'm going to have to just completely reopen that again, aren't we?
I've tried it. I can't really say that has worked out for me, but well, I don't know. Maybe your PC is going to get it done working.
A man can dream is kind of where I'm at right now. Is this going to work? No, it's not. It's not connecting. So that is unfortunate, folks. I don't have a graphic to show you. Is kind of the awkward thing here. It's just a black screen, so I'm not sure really what to bring up. Let's what if I just bring up the HLTV graphic? There we go. That seems like a pretty... Nope, probably shouldn't bring that up. It's got ads on the side. Can't do that. Had a bit of a pickle here, aren't we? Oh, there we go. What if we just bring up the VulkanBet homepage? That feels like a pretty safe bet, right?
Yeah, I think I see what you did there. That is a safe bet.
There we go. Full screen that. Up some esports. I'm also not permitted to register from this country, but there we go. At least there's something on the screen, right? We can have a look at what odds we've got on VulkanBet. Let's filter by Counter-Strike, of course. VulkanBet Invitational. There we go. Let's look at the odds for this event. So the current live game is 2.87 for LDLC and 1.38 for VP. So not
What?
bad odds.
2.87 for LDLC?
Yeah.
Wow, that's quite weird, to be honest, because even though, yeah, I completely understand, LDLC, they're a fresh roster, but they're a pretty decent looking roster, to be honest, when you have, the names on this one. So to be such a one-sided thing for the VP guys, I actually had no idea about it. Wow.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Likewise as well, you look towards the other matches scheduled for the 22nd. Epsilon versus Havu, and All Attacks versus SJ Gaming. Epsilon having the 1.5 versus the 2.46.
Interesting, because, again, from the Charlotte esports event, again, I'm probably butchering that name, pardon my French, but, the Epsilon players, they've been looking pretty solid. They've actually even climbed to the 22nd place on HLTV, and, it looks like a pretty random mixture of players. You got a Dutch, a German, a Brit, a Bulgarian, and also a Latvian of all people. And yet this roster is somehow able to click. It looks like, for me, this roster seems to be having a similar rise to fame as the Imperial squad had back in 2018, just the whole year ago.
Yeah, it's definitely some spicy results. We'll have to certainly keep an eye on them. I'm just really interested in the fact that there are odds on Warcraft 3. I've just noticed that. I didn't realize Warcraft 3 was still competitively played. Kind of cool. Moon and Sock. Of course, you can see here, VulkanBet has all of the entire calendar of Counter-Strike pretty much available. I'm actually just looking at some of the events on here. Some of the events I'm not even familiar with. I didn't actually realize the Svenska Syrian. I imagine that's a Swedish competition. Yeah, it looks like it's probably going to be some sort of national event, I imagine. The ADL playing. 5 Power versus eHome is quite the game. I'd recommend watching that. They actually, it's usually quite competitive. Pretty sure, yeah, that's actually happened already, which is, we're looking at results, but still, it was 2-0, I'm not surprised, but they're usually pretty competitive. I wonder if we can see the score. I don't think we can. It doesn't show us the score, unfortunately, just that it was 2-0. Maybe map 1 shows win or loss. That's a shame.
Oh, it's actually quite interesting that I can actually even connect to VulkanBet because, from the country I am, I don't think we're allowed to be allowed to log into foreign betting websites. So
you will know, folks, depending on your country will depend on if you're able to bet. As you'll see on my screen, I'm from England, which means I'm not permitted to register with VulkanBet from my country. That's just some legal stuff there, legal requirements. Let's see, what other matches are live right now? We've got LootBet going on, and we've got... what is this? This looks like an ESL 1 Mumbai 2019. I'm guessing that's Dota, Mineski versus the Pango. Let's filter by Counter-Strike. I feel like that's probably the most relevant to our audience. We've got Lucid Dream versus Entity. That must be, Australian Pro League? Yeah, Asian Pro League, yeah. Malaysia?
Yeah, it is for, the Asian region. But I think there's also two groups for the Asian teams, and you have two groups for, I think, the Oceanic rosters. Yeah, I guess the appropriate term would probably be Asia Pacific Ocean.
Well, I think it's Australasia or APAC.
Oh, there you go. Australasia, APAC. There you go. That's the name I was looking for.
That's always the other one. Yeah, it's a very interesting stuff. What's this? The Winners League Season 2. Got the 99 Liga, Unicorns of Love versus Playing Ducks. You had a lot of controversy recently, so that's...
Controversy?
Yeah, there was some, I was reading about this on some HLTV and some Reddit posts, some cheating allegations being thrown around from an event they were playing in. It's been a pretty crazy time of things, I think, in the sort of the smaller leagues of Counter-Strike. So it's always good to see sort of more events come along. That's why I'm... glad to see that a VulkanBet Invitational is a thing. It's a great opportunity for reliable partners to come in and run an event. So definitely glad that we've got this event, and with a good chunk of money too, $20,000. It's yeah, pretty beefy amount, as we can see our own stream actually here. 2,300 of you watching. Thank you all for tuning in, I suppose. Yeah, we're just waiting. You have to bear with us. Unfortunately, the irony is that we don't control the production in terms of what's on the clean feeds. The music, the ad breaks, all of that stuff is not controlled by us. So the only thing I've got is a black clean feed and then, well, pretty much anything that I show you on the internet. So it's yeah, that's basically one or the other. So I feel like, we'll look at VulkanBet is probably better than a black screen. So at least there's that, I suppose.
It definitely is nicer for the eyes. It's a very nice looking web page, a very nicely designed one, very colorful. I'll give him that.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I wonder what else is on here. We've got I Am Sydney. That's Chiefs versus Atletico, the derby matchup. Brazil Game Cup as well. Oh wow, those odds of Chiefs versus Atletico are brutal. Absolutely brutal. 1.24 versus 3.77.
Well, wow, that is quite a lot.
Some tough odds. Well,
yeah, but there's actually, now that I've noticed, there's actually a decent amount of competition we're talking about. Like, we also have the Winners League that's not even, there's actually, the games aren't even posted on HLTV, but, they're here. You also, as mentioned earlier, the Brazil Game Cup series, obviously our own tournament here.
There's a lot of Counter-Strike.
There's a lot of games here
happening all across the globe. That's what one of my favorite things to see is we've got European Counter-Strike sort of within this sort of central portion. We've got a bit of Asian Counter-Strike happening up here, Australian as well with Chiefs Atletico. Then you work your way down, you move into sort of South America like the Brazil Game Cup. It's some really interesting stuff. We've even got the Portuguese league on here, Master League Portugal. So it's really cool to see sort of such diversity. Within the Counter-Strike calendar as we head over sort of today's schedule and tomorrow's respectively. Today's actually pretty hectic for CS. For you folks at home who are watching right now, these are all the games listed for just today. Everything below GTC Bulls versus Kick Esports Club happens tomorrow. But that shows just this is a good sort of 10, 15 matches of CS. And this probably isn't all of them. This is just what's listed on VulkanBet as well. So yeah, definitely quite a packed schedule of CS, that's for sure. And the 18th is even more packed. I mean, that is a lot of CS, and that's likely because you've got a lot of Winners League matches happening. Yeah, you've got you've got 2 pages of matches almost. It's a lot of CS to bet on.
Yeah, it definitely is. You can try out your luck, or shall I say the appropriate term, your skill, especially if you know the teams, you've been watching them, you've been looking back at the demos, making sure what are the differences between the two teams, what makes a certain matchup more peculiar to go in one way or the other. It is definitely, betting on the games, it is definitely not an easy thing. It can definitely be done, but obviously, guys, remember, you have to bet safely. That's the most important part.
Yeah, bet responsibly. That'd be my, in addition to my Life Pro Tip series we're talking about, that'd be probably the second tip of the day. Is bet safely, bet responsibly, folks. Only bet what you can afford to lose, as shenanigans can happen. Sometimes when you think 5 power are just going to waltz all over Tyloo and they're going to cash in on that sweet 3.82, it doesn't quite happen. The Counter-Strike is a surprising game. But with that said, definitely I'd recommend having a go at it if you've got the skin spare, so to speak. I can definitely think of some fond memories of Counter-Strike betting. I once was in a LAN hall of a British CS LAN, and someone sort of righted me bet £1,000 on a British LAN grand final when the odds were actually really surprising. Fortunately, he didn't cash in, but it was still quite a surprising bet.
That's risky.
It was a risky bet. It was a risky bet for sure.
I don't want to say anything bad about UKCS, but on a UKCS grand final, I don't know about that one.
It's a coin flip, right? It's the equivalent of putting £1,000 on blackjack. But when you look at the two teams playing, it was a very close game. When 3 maps, third map went to OT, so I'd say it was a pretty good bet, all things considered. Though maybe the quantity was a little bit too much. The actual idea behind placing a bet was pretty smart. I myself put £50 on it, so definitely can understand why. It's just an update for you guys. We're not just jabbering on about random stuff for no reason. We just don't have the game right now. It's just paused. So unfortunately, I don't really have an update for you. I know I can see that the fact that our friends over in the Polish studio are also just as unsure what is happening right now, so we are just awaiting patiently before we can get things back on the air. But in the meantime, odds and Counter-Strike, and we're just sort of having a general chit-chat, because unfortunately we can't even throw to a break, I don't think, unless we just, I could maybe just find some music on YouTube or something. But I feel like, yeah, we don't even have a break, unfortunately. But it looks like the RTMP feed has returned, which means that we should be able to get video on your screen in just a few moments' time. So what I'm going to have to do is put the screen to black for a moment, and then I will see if I can load up the feed. So bear with me, folks. Right, there we go, black screen. Open that up. Bring that up over here. Get that out of full screen. Live production at its finest. Click this. Open that. And then we have, I can hear Counter-Strike at least. That's always a good sign.
Yeah, the winds of Nuke.
The winds of Nuke have kicked in. It looks like we have Counter-Strike on our screens, folks. There you have it. You guys should be able to hear that as well. And we're back. LDLC versus VP. It feels like it's been a while.
It's been a bit of a while. We obviously had a bit of a chit chat about our main sponsor, and obviously VulkanBet Invitational. We talked about the website Vulkan. We talked about the odds, some of the matches there, and now we're back to the match we were supposed to cast all day long, and it's obviously LDLC against Virtus.pro.
It looks like we are just waiting for the go-ahead to be given to both teams as well, and I know our partners on the other language streams are also getting themselves ready to go. I believe there's also not just VulkanBet as they are the title sponsor, but I also believe there's a partnership with the Maltese company. Hence the .mtbt link and stream that I believe we're actually on right now. So.
Yeah, that is obviously the stream we're on, gamers.com.mt, the Maltese company mentioned earlier. I guess, I think this is a good time as any, to begin to go through the conversation about the two teams here, LDLC and Virtus.pro. And I actually wanted to have your opinion about the new Virtus.pro roster here, Flakes, because for me, it is very dissatisfying to be seeing this roster at play, to be honest. It is somewhat heartbreaking, especially when you think about a year ago. And actually, no, we have to go far back, to be honest, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, when this team was still pretty high up there in the Counter-Strike echelon. But here, it's a shadow of its former self, and it's simply not looking that great anymore. Even worse, actually, it's not even a shadow of its former self. The shadow has left, like the story of Hans Christian Andersen.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know where I was going with that reference, but
it was a good try. I mean, I'm just kind of thinking back, the last major results that VP collected were what? 2017 Epicenter 2017, they got second, right? And then they won DreamHack Masters Las Vegas, I recall, against SK.
True. I also I think one of the last events where they had still a proper finish as a team, I think it might be the 2017 Star Ladder I-League Invitational in Shanghai, where I think they also finished second right after the Epicenter event. And I think since then it's been pretty much downhill.
Yeah, I mean, it's been pretty much mix and match since those kind of, since the glory days, so to speak. Yes, I know they won ESCA Season 29 Premier in Europe, which is, it's all well and good, but, I mean, it's Premier, and we kind of want VP to be in the Pro League. Not to kind of discredit them for the victory, but still, it happens. I know we'll see Face It Major London, they bombed it 23rd, 24th, if I recall. So it's really not been a sort of a good day of it. They were 7th to 8th at the Charleroi Esports in 2019 event you were sort of referring back to. Really the last major result is kind of way back in towards 2017, which, yeah, it's not, not too pretty when you look at it like that. Of course, second at the league major, so I mean that's always the big one to refer to, right? So you go from that to now, it's a big difference.
I guess one of the things we could also mention is that the team has made a roster change. They do have a new player in the mix. That is, of course, Veggie. And from what I've seen, from the Belgian event, Veggie's been performing quite well. I'd say that I think his performance was the best out of all of his teammates in the Belgian event. But in all fairness, honestly doesn't say much because guys like Snatchy, Snacks, Bayali, these are the three individuals that have been really lackluster in the scoreboard, especially a guy like Snatchy, you bring it in from the aggro roster. I think he had something ridiculous like a 1.2 rating or something like that. He was able to tear off heads in the tier 2 opposition. He makes it to Virtus.pro. He's back on playing on a similar playing field, and Snatchy, he's simply not playing up to snuff.
Yeah, that's certainly true. And the thing when you look at kind of a player like Veggie is, he definitely some talent there, but the experience is lacking. I mean, his professional history will also only date back to 2017. I don't believe there's any CS 1.6 or Source experience. I may be incorrect there, but from my understanding of things and sort of the knowledge I have on him as a player when he recently sort of made his entryway into VP, was that he was pretty much just a Polish talent that was really discovered around sort of early 2018, kind of maybe late 2017. But his experience really was playing with teams like Paragraph, Crew Blend, and his most recent team prior to VP was Pact, if I recall. So yeah, definitely some experience that needs to be gathered here.
Oh yeah, for sure. Probably Virtus.pro is going to be the roster where you can actually gather that experience. And would you look at this, Flakes? We're actually able to continue on with our matchup here. It is obviously the scoreline 3-2 in favor of Virtus.pro, but we are going to be seeing some action here. I'm hoping towards the outside area as the nade from Happy does some, not the most amount of significant damage, but some damage at the very least.
It looks like we are back into this one. I have just heard there's going to be a pause at the end of the round, though, so that's a shame. But we will take the Counter-Strike while we have it, I suppose. Happy. He lined up the utility here while shoulder peeking off the corner. Benefit for him is he will be able to hear and spot out all of that utility use, so a good bit of communication that he can do, let's say. DP just
under right now,
bundling up so close here. I mean, this is it's risky when you look at the positions of Happy. Down there, they are in great spots here. The smoke will be dropped down as well. The mollies will come through, but you're just gonna let rip as Happy then sprays on away. So much damage done, and there's still Mihu left standing on 5 HP. It just gets even worse. XMS can drop Snatchy dead from up and above, leaving just Mihu and Bialy now. A kill will be reclaimed, but it's still a 3v2. Mihu going to collect himself at least one, equalizing the situation somewhat, but being just stuck on 5 HP, he puts himself in such a tough spot here.
You see that XMS here? Up on the rafters, very good position to be holding from, but it's not actually the A bombs that he should be concerned about. It is the B where the bomb's been planted. Right now, Bialy, he's not in the best position right there, being right behind the silo there. But in all fairness, looks like Mihu doesn't really even want to be breaking the vents. He doesn't want to give away his sound cue, but right now, Bialy, he needs the backup here from Mihu. Mihu's down in the vents. He's not in the best position to be in, but as he peeks on through the orange door, he's going to have to be very quick, and so he is. He eliminates Happy, but XMS is quicker, and I do believe XMS, does he? I think he has just about enough time to actually get the defuse in, so all right. Good job there by LDLC. Hold on, it's going to be quite close, I believe. Ah, he gets it. He gets it in the end, and that's going to be the third round here for LDLC. But what a peculiar strat from Virtus.pro. We saw him securing the initial kill towards outside, a very important position to be acquiring as a T on Nuke. And you're thinking, right, they can now try to take over some outside control, and if they're still considering to go for the A push, they can have a player coming in from Garage. But instead of that, they decide to make their way through the tight choke points of Blue Hut and Orange Squeaky Door, so I don't know, that was a very peculiar round. It should have gone LDLC's way from that point onward, but it looks like Virtus.pro still make it work.
Happy almost certainly going to be hearing now the steps of players as they go thundering down in towards Secret. XMS, aware of that fact, will be waiting patiently by the smoke as that trap is set. VP just need to walk on through. Happy now trapping them in from behind as well. Makes life even better for this CT side here as they do stand with an advantage. Snatchy falling very early on into the round. With 1 minute 10 on the clock though, VP do not have to rush this. They can kind of play the clock a little bit here, use their utility to buy themselves a little bit more of an opportunity to break away onto this B site, causing XMS to actually rotate his position, decides, you know what, screw this, I don't want to fight through Secret, they've already got through. Instead, will get himself up on these rafters and we're just looking through to the window, seeing if they can sort of break out. And Bialy pretty much be awaiting for him to make that peek. There you have it, just into his crosshair. Easy pickings, a crispy headshot to pluck things back in favor of VP.
That's the question right now. If you're a team like LDLC, do you want to try to go for this one? Because it is going to be a difficult retake here, but Happy does find a nice kill there on Bialy. So with that kill being found, I think they might try to go for this retake, but that's the problem right now for LDLC. They have 3 of their players coming in from ramp. Not the best of positions here, but Rodin is very quick on the peak, but he won't secure the kill, but they'll do so Veggie and Miki. And with that being said, Sixter and Mayor, they definitely want to try to go for this, and it looks like Major right now, oh, there you go, the man's gone as Snacks was coming in there with the flank from ramp. That is going to be the round here for Virtus.pro, and we do say that the money for LDLC is looking very poor.
Yeah, it's definitely looking a little dicey, isn't it? It's seen better days. Of course, only going to see pistols at best purchased here, as they'll be using just 5.7s, maybe a CZ on Happy. Nothing more, but nothing less as well. 3-4 the score, and of course things kept ever close. You see both teams battling out on Nuke. Already that AWP going for the early frag, but it will be a shot missed. Yes, I imagine we are just going to see some slow Counter-Strike come in from VP here. No need for them to kind of go for this gung-ho style of play, this all-out rush. Just need to relax somewhat, take it slow, and pick off these pistols bit by bit.
Yeah, I think in this case, if you're a team like Virtus.pro, you realize that you are going up against the mere pistols, so you still have to be quite careful in your approach, but you don't have to be very, shall I say, overconfident by making like a straight-up commitment on, say, the upper bombs for the tight choke points. It would make a lot more sense to actually maybe acquire some of that map presence before making your final decision on which bombs that you want to hit, and I do respect that from Virtus.pro. I do see that the team is sticking together. Right now, they're going to be making their way towards Secret, it looks like, but Bialy is here already. He's been the lonesome man here, clearing things out, making sure there's not a single CT here, and I'd say that is still a wise decision from Virtus.pro to stick together, but Bialy, you know, he's definitely feeling quite confident if he decided to play by his lonesome all the way towards Secret.
"25 seconds, though. VP will actually have to try and go for a plant sooner rather than later as the doors go open. Bomb is going to be planted there and then, and with 10 seconds to spare or so, it will go down. The pistols yet to even make a face. Six are just tucked in behind the boxes, Rodan holding up and above. The game of exit frags now for LDLC more than anything else. There are barely any opportunities for them, really, in this round.
At this point, you're going to try to get somebody's exit frags if possible, but Bialy, he's got no idea about the angle. He's going to be an easy pickings for Major. He finds a second one to boot. Has some great kills being picked up here, but LDLC, a third one from Major, in fact, is definitely making this round very costly, and this is a good opportunity for his teammates to actually make their way down Secret and recover some of these rifles from the VP players, but because no one's really close by, it looks like, yeah, that's not going to be possible. So at the very least, they actually secured themselves 3 kills and even an AWP, which is very nice here for the Frenchman.
Fairly critical round, although it has to be said, at 3-5, LDLC do not want to allow VP to start to break away from them here and really build up rounds on their T side. So now they have money to spend, they've got weapons in the round, full utility and so on. No better time for them to really be able to compete and show us what they've got here. Early utility used in both the doorway and likewise on the A site will deny any early aggression from VP, likewise towards outside. Going to cause a bit of a fight of its own. One smoke to go down makes life a little difficult. Happy not only getting 2, but going for a third as well. Bialy is dangerously low. The CZ just wandering around the edge of this smoke. It's an interesting smoke because it's not actually in the building, rather outside, making quite an interesting scenario here. Bialy and Happy almost crossing by each other as they walk around the edges, but it does end with Happy coming out on top. The Frenchman then taking down Veggie as well as XMS rips into this T side, leaving Snatchy all on his lonesome. An AWP in hand. There's a shot missed as well, just to make things get from bad to worse.
Yeah, because with that AWP shot being missed, his position has been compromised and he's now being outflanked there by Happy, but he can't win the fight. At the end of it all, it is going to be Major to find that last kill, and Did he want to try to go for a second AWP setup? No, it doesn't look like it. They're just going to continue on playing with Sixer on the sniper rifle, and that's going to be another round here for LDLC. So far, they need to acquire way more rounds than they have right now here on the CT side. VP have done a stellar job at securing themselves the 5 rounds, but for LDLC, this being the CT side of Nuke, at the very least, they need to get themselves maybe even 4 more, but even then, 8 rounds on the CT side of Nuke, I don't think that's going to be enough. But here, Mihu is making his way here. I'm hoping to spot out Happy here, who has been playing here towards the container, and he has been quite the nuisance, at least the previous round. Virtus.pro players, looks like it is going to be a simple push on one of the bomb sites, but the question is, where?
A beat Major. I mean, this is just devastation. I walk into an organ, and I'm just like wiping a smudge away on your screen, isn't it? Really not a pretty sight. Rather than to finish things off, we'll go 5-5, and it kind of says what I wanted to see from LDLC. Kind of tie up the scoreline, keep things close. Even if we now see VP come back with a bit more of a competitive T side and trade things back in round 12, 13, etc., it just keeps things close. The polar opposite, and what we potentially would have seen if LDLD kind of did pick up the pace somewhat, was that VP would be able to start to really build up a lead. They break 7 or 8, and we'd be looking at just quite a one-sided scoreline, which on Nuke can lead to very quick and decisive games.
This one is in looking too decisive just yet. We are seeing a pretty even game here between the two teams. The wallbang coming in. It is quite effective there in XMS. Forces him to retreat. Not to get any more bullets lunged at him. And now the smokes having to play here from LDLC on the upper bomb side. Still have some of that utility remaining for sure. But I wonder what's the game plan right now for Virtus.pro. It doesn't look like they're going to be fighting for any outside control. The players are just stationed here towards radio. The way they're playing right now, it kind of looks like they might try to contest Ramprom, and they are going to be going up against Major, who has found himself some great eco frags for sure, but can he actually hold it off against a proper rifle push?
Oh, the Molotov. It's never been better timed. Then peeks out, gets one, goes for a second, ever so close, but even doing enough damage to put Veggie down to 18 HP is still incredibly valuable in that position, because you've gone 1 for 1, which is kind of already a net positive, and then doing the damage as well while also denying the push with the Molotov. It's just so much value from that position. It just doesn't get better for LDLC. The cherry on top is Happy just getting an additional kill. They should know it's going to be an A play. Snacks just waltzes on out. XMS has his back turn though, which is a disaster in itself, and I mean, Snacks just gets this godlike opener. LDLC, you had everything in front of you. The round was yours to take. And you let Snacks open it wide open again. Now with the bomb ticking on away, LDLC are on for the retake. Sixer has to come up through vent with an open hand. It's not a shotgun. This is not no sword off. How is he going to make this one work? Gets himself at least up, goes for the no-scope, but doesn't even get a shot off before he's put in a grave. At least just Happy. 1 man standing up against 3. He is no Swiss Army knife. Well, he's sprinting on a way back, allowing VP to pick up their 6th.
That is so weird. Why even contest that one if you're LDLC? Especially with the disadvantageous positions you have there. Happy coming in from mini garage, sure, that's not too bad. But Sixer from the vent with an AWP, come on, like that is such a difficult position to be in if you are attempting the retake as a CT. I'd say it would have been way more wiser to keep that AWP in the next round, but I kind of see why they were trying to attempt the retake. First of all, they are lacking in the round department, and second of all, they do have a decent amount of money in their possession, so I guess that's one of the main reasons why they've gone for such a play. But I'd say, from my personal POV, I would have loved to see the AWP being saved. That would have been $4,000 saved up in the pockets of Sixer, but now as he has to reinvest, we'll see how much impact he can find here. It looks like it's not Sixer to find the initial kill, it will be XMS here.
I do love that opening shot, especially when it comes through in that way. Through the smoke, through the open doorway, in fact. It's a very cheeky early kill on Nuke, but it's quite common, and it's one that's also, I think, not exactly repeatable. It's just a quick spam that you kind of hope for the best, and usually it's chip damage, but it's very rare that ends in a kill. Happy, meanwhile, securing himself a kill, I believe, towards outside. Of aggression to come through. Oh, scratch that. He's also in doorway. It's another kind of smoke kill for him. LDLC, just a bunch of criminals at this point. Do see a trade come through, at least from Snatchy, but LDLC still in a fairly comfortable position, I think it's worth saying.
Now they need to clear Happy out of this
Oh, the
position. They
smoke.
don't really check him. Yeah, the smoke actually botches it, but now look at Veggie. The new man's here and he secures the A bomb site. This is where Bialik can actually meet up with his comrade in arms and actually take over the A bomb site. As Sixer, I think he realizes that he's in a pretty horrible position. He's still going to be hoping for maybe a player to come in here towards the B side, but I think that's going to be the case. Sixer, Veggie, and Bialik going to be playing this one together. Bialik is punching in the numbers, and the bomb now being planted. I think if you're a Sixer, this is the one where you have to say, come on, Sixer. Or does he? He pulls out the AUG. Looks like he's going to try to attempt this one. That's quite interesting, Sixer. Let's see if it's going to work out.
He's got no time, even if he wants to go for it, to be honest. Looking at... Use the top bar to your advantage here, folks. You know, you can see already that we're just now breaking into 10 seconds. Yeah, it's just not going to happen ever. You're so late to retake there that is just... You're asking for almost instantaneous death. And really the downside there is that he had a weapon. Meanwhile, his teammate Happy had 7k, so with the additional gun, plus the money from Happy, with the a little bit extra that Major's got as well, it gives you room to at least do some damage in this round. When you know that Happy's going to buy an AWP here, as he has just done, in this round you'd now have a rifle, an AWP, and potentially upgraded pistols, which would be... I'm not saying it's a perfect buy or even a positive, but it's something. It's better than nothing.
You see Major here. Oh, he's got his trusty 5-7 out. That's going to allow him to at least find one of the kills on the Virtus.pro players. But I'd say at this point, I wouldn't be too surprised if Virtus.pro would just consider to barrel on their way onto the bomb site. But they're meeting some stiff opposition, to be honest. And I think they decided to change up their side. I do believe they're going to be making the way on the A bomb side. And yeah, that's where all three Virtus players are stationed at. And even though Happy did make his right move, I'd say at that point, transitioning towards the lower bomb side, Virtus.pro made a very great mid call, and they've decided to back away. Great stuff from Virtus.pro, and that's going to allow him to secure an 8th round here.
EP definitely have the edge on their T side. What's kind of funky is that I feel like LDLC have had some great openers or have been in some great positions, or should I say situations, to be a bit more sort of open-ended there in terms of putting themselves in 3v2s and so on. And then VP always seem to have that, I don't know if star power is the correct way of describing it, but some sort of almost get-out-of-jail-free card. We see it from Veggie. He pulled out a double kill out of nowhere, rotating through A to get to his teammates on B who are planted, but during his rotation picks up 2 back-to-back headshots, I think in round, 11, I believe it was. And likewise from a couple other members on VP, they've all sort of had their moments where they've really turned around into what could have been winnable for LDLC just to completely undoable. So it's a very interesting game in the way that it's unfolded in that regard.
Actually, I myself am quite surprised to see that the Virtus.pro players are able to frag the way they're doing so on the terror side of Nuke of all places. But there's always some confidence coming in. Snatch is going to be losing his fight to Major, but there's Snacks with a kill. And with that kill coming in, that's going to prompt him to continue on pushing further forward here. On the lower bomb side, it looks like there's Miku also timing in with a kill of his own. And even though there's still some trades happening here, the Virtus.pro players have got themselves some prime positioning, and I'm not really sure who has the bomb in their possession. Looks like that's in fact Veggie here, so that's kind of a shame how Bialy and Snacks have made their way onto the lower bomb site, but Veggie, he's nowhere close to the side. He's still going to have to make his way. He still could use the back of his own teammates, and I don't know how this one's going to play out because Snacks and Bialy, they definitely want to continue on holding, but they also want to allow Veggie to make his way onto the site.
I gotta say, really impressed with Veggie so far. One of the first times I've really had a good chance to see him play. Definitely brought some highlights to the table here. XMS will take down Bialy. I'll see a bit of an advantage here for LDLC, but just leaning back on my previous comment, it seems like LDLC, they get themselves in great positions, and then things fall away, but it may well be Major who seals the deal here, brings it into 1v3. Ironically, it's Veggie who has to get it done. I talked about being impressed with him so far. Let's see if he can take it one step further. Peeks out. Unfortunately, the kill, not for his. Major will take him down, and it will be a round on the board for LDLC, bringing us up to 8-6 here, and giving LDLC a welcome shot of going for that 8-7 half-line score.
Obviously, their best case scenario for LDLC. If they still want to have a chance there on the second half, they're gonna need this one more round here on the CT side of Nuke. Otherwise, this could very easily be, a victory here for Virtus.pro with 8 rounds on the terror side of Nuke. That's very impressive. Keep that same pace on the CT side, and you might as well see a victory here for the Polish team. But for now, you see the investment coming in here from LDLC. It's obviously not looking that great, but it's also not too bad. You have a decent amount of utility in their position. Sixer still going to be holding with that sniper rifle, I do believe, towards outside. That seems to be the position he has been favoring, but it's quite important to note that primarily some of the opening kills have been happening through the squeaky door, and it doesn't look like it will be Sixer fighting out against Snatchy. They're going to be playing this one safe, LDLC.
Major. Tough position here, very one and done. If the push comes through, it takes a well-timed flash for him to really be able to escape. Got no support from his teammate there, so it's kind of all on him, and instead he creeps onto the left. Will be a bit of an ill fate. AWP there to smite him down. Early kill plucked into favour of Virtus.pro. Happy will get himself in towards Vent, and from there rotations begin to take shape for LDLC as they start to have to fill in the gaps that Major's death creates. You can see VP, though, not forcing the issue. They will just leverage Snax' position to sneak out. Pull just a second kill to the round for them. Beautiful stuff so far. And no opportunity once more for LDLC to trade. It just couldn't get any worse for the CT side right now. The French side struggling. Happy finally going to collect something, but maybe too little too late. They only found Veggie. And that didn't really show much of what was to come. It was only him single-handedly towards ramp. Yes, VP, rotating at speed through ramp as well, but this is information that LDLC won't know about. And what they won't know is Mihu as well. It's another kill found on the rotation. Happy can look towards the site as much as he wants, but this is going to be a tough round for him to make work. Case and point. Snax will take him down, and it leaves just Sixer, the man up against 4. It is impossible, surely so. Snax is low HP, but can Sixer take him by surprise? Will sneak on out. There's one, but the instant trade comes through. There you have it, folks. 9-6. What a close and competitive half. Virtus.pro clearly had the edge, though.
I feel kind of silly for doubting Virtus.pro here, as they showed us some great stuff here on the terrorist side of Nuke. Now, with the performance they have here, I mean, they can be very satisfied with the 9 rounds they've accomplished. And now, if we're going to be moving here on the CT side of Nuke, like, this could even be a much more one-sided affair if Virtus.pro going to keep up the pressure. But we also have to note, like, the LDLC players, Major had an amazing game, 20 kills for him. His ramp defensive was really important here on the CT side of Nuke.
Almost certainly. Folks, we'll be right back with you after a very short commercial break, where we'll kick off the second half of LDLC versus Virtus.pro. Welcome back, folks, to the VulkanBet Invitational. $20,000 on the line. Here we are, of course, in our second match of the league so far in our group stages. Group A, of course, LDLC versus VP. Definitely been an interesting match thus far on Nuke. Is a best of one, of course, worth reminding you all that this is a GSL best of one group stage. So quite close and competitive, and also quite cutthroat, I think is fair to say. No mistakes can be afforded to any of the teams, as they do risk elimination. 9-6, though, as it currently stands. What are your thoughts, Danny? I mean, is this a VP game to close out now? Expecting a bit more of a comeback here from LDLC? Where do you think this one's going to head?
I honestly think Virtus.pro have got themselves the opportunity to close this map out. Right now they're playing on the CT side of Nuke. Quite favorably, they're the side they enjoy playing the most here now. Snatchy, he will have one of his teammates going down, but most importantly, he also secured a kill. Right now, they have themselves a very decent amount of presence here, Virtus.pro. They even had 2 players at one point, but now it looks like it is going to be a push here on the upper side. Veggie hasn't been cleared out. He's got the CZ out, but now he's down. The players coming in there from the rafters, and they're not finding the most amount of success. Snatchy right now, the last man standing for Virtus.pro. He's not out of this one just yet, faking the jump, but he'll be up and ready to make this push happen here from the upper They actually anticipate him to be there. Oh, he spots out the player's head, but he's simply not quick enough to find that kill. That's going to be it here for LDLC, as at the very least, the lifeline is here. They secured the pistol round, but I'd say at this point, they're going to need a lot more to secure this map. Winning the pistol round is a good start, though.
Well, you know what they say, you've got to learn to walk before you can run, and I think that's a great way to look at the pistol round. There's no need to worry about the rifle rounds just yet. We've really just got to make sure we get these kind of first and second round respectively in the bag. And for LDLC, they're already halfway there. Just got to finish things off now by keeping round 17 clean. They've got the clear-cut weaponry advantage. VP haven't spent a penny into this round. I mean, a P250 at most. So it's should be a nice and simple one for LDLC to close, to be honest. There is zero excuse for this T side to be taking losses here.
Headshot angle. Gotta be quite careful about that one XMS, as you can be shut down by one of the pistols here. Do you see that Virtus.pro, they're not finding the most amount of success in a round like this, and that is to be expected. They only have the pistols to work with, and I do believe, yes, LDLC, they realized that they can very easily take over the lower bomb side. There's not a single player here, but they actually do decide to make their way back on the upper side. So it looks like they still want to win the fights against the pistol link players, like Snatchy and Veggie. Not sure if that's too important from them, as some of the players, they are quite low in HP, Sixer in particular. So I'd say that even in a round like this, if you're the likes of LDLC, you gotta be quite careful about these pistol link players. I think Veggie is gonna hope to find this kill here on Major, which could definitely work out for him. He's right behind the orange container. He ends up going down. Veggie's going for more with the Mac 10, trying to get some of that bonus money, but it's not meant to be. 8 rounds here for LDLC, and this is where the real fun starts here, Flakes. This is where the gun round shall commence.
This is really now where LDLC will find themselves tested. We get to see also what VP are made of on their CT side as the AWP enters the palms of Snatchy. We've also got Alls galore. Every single player of VP opting for those rifles. It's certainly set to be an interesting one. See what the play is going to be. VP dedicating, pretty standard resources towards outside. To see how this goes through, as Veggie already down to 21 HP, being pressured. The likes of Happy up and above, as well as his comrades surrounding from the outside.
XMS position here in secret, it could do a decent amount of damage here on the Virtus.pro players, because I don't think there's a single individual from the VP side anticipating a player in the lower bomb site. So I think right now, if you're LDLC, you have to play the waiting game. You must allow a player like XMS to make his way towards... Oh, why'd you do that, XMS? He's now made the noise here, so Snatch, you can actually look back on him. He will be finding the kill here, but now he has revealed his position. A lot more players coming in. He simply can't find all of them. So now LDLC, they can very easily continue on with the push here on the lower bomb side, and there doesn't seem to be a single French player Polish player to stop them, but there's Snacks with the kill.
Bomb, of course, found its way down now. They will be greeted by almost an instant smoke. VP, of course, got time to work with, so they can spend a little bit of time laying down utility here, but they do eventually have to make the push work. They will just trade their way through. Sixer Major kills aplenty, though. It does make this retake look seemingly impossible. A Sixer will finish things off as well. A shot through the glass. The chest of Bialy will equalize things 9-9.
I was quite worried there for XMS, him shattering the window. I thought that, Snatch is going to have the up on this one. He finds the killer in XMS. He should begin to realize there's going to be a lot more players coming in from ramp. And I actually thought that Snatch is going to retreat back towards lower bomb site, but that wasn't really the case. In fact, Snatch tried to hold his ground, and that was, I'd say, a bit of a mistake, because then the LDLC players were just pouring on through, and they secured themselves the lower bomb site without any sort of problems, really. You take down Snatchy, and the bomb site is free for the taking. But here, the Virtus.pro players, they do have the pistols out. They're holding some of these positions here, and so to speak, default positions, I guess you could call them. As the VP players, they're holding them, waiting for the LDLC players to come to them.
Happy, already picking up an initial kill here, painting a pretty positive picture for LDLC. Of course, it is just another round, like you said, that should be kept fairly simple. VP don't exactly have mind-blowing weaponry here. They are going to be getting close with the CZs, though, which can be a little concerning. Happy to fall certainly makes things a little bit more awkward for this T side, giving an AK up to Veggie, but that isn't in the arms of Bialy, which is going to be most important here. He's got the Kevlar, and he's really the one that'll be able to put the most use to it. Worth noting, though, that, armor's, as much as it's a talking point, right, when it comes to going for a glass cannon AK, if Veggie's able to get the first shot off, it's still possible for him to really wreak some havoc with it. So, definitely something to be keeping a close eye on. Let's put it like that. XMS will find himself another kill as the bomb does go down, though. Does put VP in a bit more of a dire position, as they will have to retake. And I think that's where they are going to start thinking about, do they want to do damage here? Do they want to save? Kind of what their approach is going to be. It's worth noting that their money is likely going to be the same no matter what they do, but I do think for the sake of Bialy, they could do with keeping that AK.
Yeah, why not? A guy like Veggie can definitely try to keep that AK-47 in his position, though I do like the positioning here from Snatchy. It is a very uncommon angle to be holding, especially if you're a player that's coming in from the B bomb site, and you have to look so far up. A lot of players just simply won't have the sensitivity to do so, so I do like the positioning from Snatchy. Problem is, not a single LDLC player will come towards that position, and that's going to be the round here for LDLC. They do secure themselves double digits, and they're having a much better start here on the terrorist side of Nuke than I might have anticipated. After seeing them play on the CT side, I had my doubts, to be honest. I didn't think they're going to have themselves a stellar affair here, but so far I think they've got themselves 4 rounds on the T side to Virtus.pro 1, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, it's not really been a pretty state of affairs for the CT side. Quick trade as well comes in towards outside, kind of just really helps sell that picture, to be honest. It will be 1-for-1 in favour of the T side. Snatchy does get one through the edge of the smoke, though, which may well be the saving grace here, putting that up to use finally. VP, we are able to slow down the round and gain a bit of control. Maybe in a great spot as well here. Should be able to find XMS as Veggie kind of eyes up his own teammate there, which is a little awkward, but XMS does sneak on back around and find Mihu, as he's caught looking out through the glass. So, a little unfortunate, but it does mean now that Secret and Ramp respectively are both opened up, as really the core of VP are all located in the same place. They're just one little blob of players, effectively towards this A site. We did see a bit of presence gained in towards Vent as they split off somewhat, but really it's a little worrying here for VP, to be honest. I like the idea of the 3v3 retake, sure, but they gamble the wrong site, then we could be looking at quite a tough round, but it's going to be a coin flip.
Looks like they're putting their eggs in one basket, and that could actually work out right now for the Virtus.pro players. They have a pretty solid read right now. There's going to be Snatchy finding the first kill here on XMS entering the bomb site. He definitely sees the shoulder peek coming in, and he drops the bomb carrier Major. And some massive frags coming in from Snatchy, and the man's already sitting on free. Do you see Sixer? He goes in up. That's some awkward angles right now. Sixer hoping to find a kill. I'm not sure why he doesn't go for the no-scope, but that is going to be the round here for Virtus.pro. Great stuff from Snatchy. He has a very stellar hold there with the sniper rifle. And we do see the LDLC's money is it's looking quite fine. You can make the purchase here. Looks like it will be just the 5 AK-47s being invested, so we might just see a faster play because of the AK-47s.
It seems like the panic scope there comes in from Sixer, right? Just goes to the right click on the door and it almost commits to certain death. Talking of scopes, it's Snatchy once again going for this long peek. We'll see a hand or two, but actually can't follow up for a kill, unfortunately. A lot of damage done to him, though. It's such a spammable angle. Just going for the tag there, but there's nothing connecting. Snacks, meanwhile, will secure first blood. LDLC lose Rodent.
Looks like with XMS being in this position, they can do some serious work, but no, Veg anticipates to come there from the Heaven area. And even though there's some decent damage being inflicted on some of these Virtus.pro players, in fact, 3 of them sitting below 20 points of health, they're not able to secure themselves the kills, but this is still a winnable situation here for LDLC's Sixer and Happy. The players right now are so low in HP. If they can find some of these engagements, this could still work out for them, and from a 2-on-5, we're back on a 2-on-2 Veggie. Quite low HP here. He is holding the hell position. He could get very easily overwhelmed by a player like Happy if he ends up looking there, but he's not. That's a big mistake, and somehow Happy wins the fight. Right now, it's all up to Mihu for his team to win the 1-on-2, but do you see the bomb is going to be planted here on the upper bomb side, and Mihu doesn't necessarily have the defuse kit to work with, but he does have the HP as well as the AUG. So let's see, Mihu shifting his way on the upper bomb. So I do believe, yes, he can find the first kill there, but I do believe Happy's there on the blue hut. He will secure the kill, and that's going to be a 2-on-5 victory for the LDLC side, and especially Happy. 4 kills from him. Great stuff there from Happy.
Bringing that stardom back into play has to be said.
Yeah.
That guy's got some incredible history when it comes as an individual, right? Some of the like big moments he's had are something else entirely.
Yeah, he definitely does, but I think the saddest thing is, after even winning, a scenario like that, I don't think he's too happy about it. From what I remember, he's a very calm and collective individual, which isn't too bad in a game of Counter-Strike. Yeah, I guess you could call it that. He's straight-faced. But still, that is an impressive victory here for the LDLC roster, and I mean, moving forward, I think Virtus.pro are going to have that round in the back of their minds, like, how did we lose that 2-5? It could be quite a devastating thing for a team here, especially on the CT side of Nuke.
Kind of that classic song. I'm trying to think of exactly what the name of it is, but it just has that line, "How does this happen to me? I've made my mistakes." That's really what comes to mind right now. Just get the violins out. Not too pretty of a round, that's for sure. You're not going to see the 1-for-1 trades here come through. Really just waiting to see if Veggie can put the auto shotgun to work, to be honest. That's kind of going to be the highlight for me here. He's just waiting so patiently on the doorway, but just no one's coming his way. You can see them thinking about it on the LDLC side, but there's some sort of inkling that, oh, you know what, we shouldn't do it, guys. Let's go somewhere else instead. It's a shame.
Making the decision right now. Do you see LDLC? They have grouped up. They're going to try to hit the lower bomb site, which seems to be the appropriate call. I don't think there's a single player here. I think that might be Snacks here, close by the B side. Is he going to push it on through? He will. He finds the kill in Major. That's the bomb now being dropped. With 20 seconds remaining, he's still dancing around the smoke. Snacks, great job from him. This puts Six in a very awkward scenario. The bomb's been dropped in the middle of nowhere. The players are pushing on through, but no. He can't find the kill there, Six. That would have been amazing if he could have clutched that one out. But that was such a difficult round to win there for the sniper rifle player. And here we do see that the money here for LDLC is looking quite bad. We do see the Frenchman in a poor economic state, which can only mean one thing. They must go for an eco.
Yeah, this game is incredibly close, and kind of just to dial things back to that round there, unfortunately for the AWP in that scenario, I don't want to say it's practically unwinnable, but it's going to need a godlike second shot. You know, assuming he gets that first kill, the first flick towards the player back silo, the repeat from his teammate will almost be instantaneous to go for that trade kill, right? And really that's going to make life very, very difficult. So, yeah, not exactly a pretty sight, but we'll have to sort of see what they can do to bring things back as the auto shotgun I referred to comes into play. It's a double kill there for Veggie. Bialy finding 2 of his own is Happy. Let's rip even more so. That's another kill claimed by the auto shotty. It was finally me who puts him in the grave. VP adding just an extra round to the tally here. 12 on the board.
It's nice to see that, you know, the legacy of Hiko was living on with the auto shotty and 2 flashes. That is a great setup to be having, and, you know, more and more so, you are seeing players in the higher echelon of Counter-Strike adopting that sort of setup by having not the Max 7, not the Nova, but the auto shotgun on the blue hut, and especially on the upper bomb side. It can definitely be quite a powerful weapon, and most importantly, not only are you finding the frags with the shotgun, but you're also finding yourself a decent amount of money. We're talking 1 shotgun kill equals $900. If, say, 3 players are coming in there through squeaky door, you're on the blue hut, you're able to scoop up around $2,700. That's massive money for the CT side on Nuke.
Yeah, they really are trying to sort of build up that bank, if possible. Bear with me a couple of moments here. We are trying to see if we can maybe improve the sound somewhat.
You can actually even see at this point that the guys there from LDLC, the saddest thing right now, because they are playing on the terrorist side of Nuke after all, they're going to have to be going for, yes, this round is the eco, which probably means that Virtus.pro will have their 13th year on the CT side of Nuke. And if that's going to be the case from that point onward, LDLC are just going to have to show us some great momentum here on the terrorist side, because they must win not 1, not 2, but several rounds in a row. I'm not sure if they're the team capable of doing so, but we'll have to wait and see. This round, though, I guess we shouldn't be keeping too much attention on it, but you might just see some great deagles coming in there, some deagle shots. There we go. There's happy with the first one on Mr. Cat Snacks. You see that players from LDLC have snuck their way past Bruce Secret. It looks like they have their running shoes on and they're quickly approaching the B-bomb site. Will they go for the straight-up bomb plant? I would presume so, but the biggest problem, they don't really have a smoke to cover off the vision from the CT players. So a guy like Mihu, he's got full vision right now, but he is slowly but surely shifting his way, keeping his eye locked on the door because he sees it open up, and that's no magic. There has to be a player right behind that door.
Bialy picking up first blood there. Snatchy with a second now. This site play not really working out. Mihu in a great spot to take down Sixer as his back will be turned, but he actually just backs away from it, instead looks towards the site itself. Doesn't really work out for him. He's going to be met by a deagle straight to the back of his skull. Bialy will be able to trade, but it puts them in a 2v2. Makes things a little bit tighter. But looks like the CT side will still be able to clean up. We do see the 13th round come through. Now, this is the one to watch, folks. 11 on the board for LDLC. They know full well if they allow VP to get to 14, that gap becomes a bit of a problem. But this buy round for them, it's not quite going to be their last, but it becomes one of the most important buy rounds they would have played in this game, and the odds certainly reflect that. 6.97 for LDLC here.
Absolutely, because, you know, if LDLC don't win this round, then things go south pretty quickly here on the terror side of Nuke. And because they have their players close by the radiant room, something tells me this is going to be a very quick push here. Sixer, he's got the angle, he's shooting his rifle away. But as the tracers do come in, Bialy will be going down. There's Veggie with a kill, as right now the LDC players are still stuck in the blue hut. As the bomb now being dropped, Veggie going to try to change up his position. And yes, the push is not successful from LDLC. This is a great hold there from Virtus.pro as the Veggie secures free. And yes, the economical state for LDLC, it's pretty bad. This is so bad for the Frenchmen. They must go for what seems to be an eco at the latter stages of the second half, and we could possibly see the Virtus.pro roster reaching 15.
Real tough situation. I mean, there really isn't much more to say. LDLC got their work cut out for them. They want to bring this game back from the depths that it's in right now. It's pretty dark and gloomy down there. Mihu already with one. Make it to two. Looking for a third. Bialy Veggie. Kills of their own. Will be just 6 now remaining. Last man standing.
That's the cleanup there from this round. Virtus.pro do secure themselves the 15th round here on the CT side of Nuke. Right now, they only need one more to secure themselves the victory, but they must go up against a full purchase here from the LDLC players. And to be honest, I don't really recall seeing a sniper rifle being picked up here by Sixer on the terror side. Primarily, from what I've seen, it's been the rifles to work with. But here, with the sniper rifle being picked up, I think this is going to be a slower paced round. But Snacks, he's going to be playing right behind the smoke. This is quite the awkward angle. Do they expect him to be there, though? Snacks, is he actually going to be playing that aggressive? Looks like he will. He sees a couple players here, but he wants to back away. He doesn't want to be taking these fights. If there's a player on the silo, Snacks in the middle of open. That's an easy pickup there from LDLC, and already it's a 4-3 scenario favoring the Frenchman.
Major finding Veggie. Definitely going to make things a little bit easier here for LDLC. Mihu just going to be seeing if he can eye up an extra kill here, but unfortunately, no push is coming through. It'll be a matter of patience now for LDLC. No need to throw this one away. You've got yourself in a 4v2 off the rule. You've got 50 seconds to work with as well. Rushing this would be a devastating way to throw away one of your final chances to pick up a win here. Best of one GSL format, as we've talked about. Pretty damn brutal. No mistakes can be made. Gotta get it right first time. 15-11. It's not a great spot in the game for them, that's for sure, but let's not harp on too much about that. Let's focus on the round at hand as the push comes through. Mihu to find two, looks for a third, but Sixer will be quick to trade. Actually now going for the sprint-based rotate straight through the smoke as well. 14 seconds, 13. The bomb has to go down. Snatchy knows that, plays that to his advantage, but They start a plant, and he's sat back. Puts himself in a 1v2. Now he has to break out through the door. With the utility in play here, this is surely going to be a round for the French side.
Has to be at this point. Snatchy pushing on through the smoke. A certain Major is right up close in front of him. So that is going to be the round there for LDLC. And what a great one indeed. From the early start, as they were able to eliminate the 2 players on the outside. I can't really remember the names. I'm certain there was Snacks there and one more player from Virtus.pro. They eliminate them towards the outside. And from that point onward, like LDLC, they've got free reign. They can go to whatever part of the map they wish to. They can very easily go towards Secret, towards the lower bomb site. If they still want to play the timer, for sure, they can definitely go towards ramp. And saw that a ladder option wasn't that bad of an idea. But here, they must still require themselves 3 rounds if they want to secure an overtime here on Nuke. And, well, I don't really recall them securing a lot of gun rounds in a row. And this is going to be quite a challenge, especially against a team like Virtus.pro.
Worth noting, VP basically have no utility to play with here. It's all pretty much been used if they did have it. I know Snacks, I believe, had a smoke on his back, but, I mean, he's dead now, so that's pretty much gone. That said, Mihu bringing in a quality display here with the Orc. That's a double for him, and Snatchy brings in a third for VP. Roden now hitting the deck, leaves just 6er. Will be on him now to make this one happen. 1 versus 4. First kill in the bag, 3 more to fire. Mihu is 8 HP. But surely this is impossible.
Just going for it. He's definitely going to have to attempt it at the very least. But I'm not sure if he ends up checking the player, but it's simply not good enough. That is going to be 16-12 in favor of the Virtus.pro roster as they do secure themselves Nuke and a fine